question.
Advance is lying to you.
I'm streaming.
Friends and neighbours, and have confidence that the team will keep you safe.
But now you start to see, yes, the people never happy.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Hey folks, Otto Mattak here for the OMG Mattak. No, Otto, wait, what? Try that again. For the channel you're watching, I hope this stream finds you well. I'm doing pretty dandy. It's another daytime stream, so there may be some noise in the background, as evidenced by the intro there. But you know. This game's already hectic, so I try to add as much additional hecticity to it. Anyhow, where we last left off, I think everybody was telling us to wake up in the studio. We had some kind of fever dream. Seemed to revolve around Mr. Snugglehugs. I don't know the song, but I love it already. Anyhow. Let's get right back into Not for Broadcast, this being episode 5. The rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor brings you slowly back to consciousness. Opening your eyes, you're greeted by a semicircle of concerned faces. Your family by your side, a reassuringly familiar sight in these new surroundings. Looking up, Samantha's face is a mixture of concern and frustration. Things haven't been great between you two lately, and Chris hasn't been helping things. That's the brother-in-law. Looming at Samantha's shoulder with a sour expression, it's clear there's still no love lost between the two of you. While Samantha is clearly worried about you, the family scowl is obvious on both of their faces, both her and Chris. I'm gonna say, thanks for coming, honey. The worry for you wins out and Sam takes your hand, before leaning in to kiss your forehead. Of course, sweetheart. I could never have been anywhere else. For the first time in a while, you both genuinely smile at each other before you look to the rest of your family. Just as you feel Susie's absence, you notice Charlie fidgeting, clearly trying not to look worried. As soon as you turn to look at him, you can see Charlie tenses up. He's clearly battling hard to stay mad at you. You look expectantly at him, but he refuses to meet your gaze. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna be fine. We'll be fighting again before you know it. Charlie looks at you and grins, one of those infectious smiles that spreads around the room. It's always good to have him in your corner. I mean, besides, he got to join the advanced go-getters because of his mother anyways. I mean, I said no. She said yes. Anyhow, your smile fades as you notice your mother staring listlessly out the window. Despite all of your best efforts, she's clearly not been doing well lately. Are you okay, Mom? Your mother starts. You call clearly, shocking her out of her reverie. So, okay, I mean, that's lost in translation. They use the word starts in ways that we don't over here in the States, but that's alright. I think I get almost startled, in a way, is what that means, I guess. She turns to you and smiles, and you're grateful to see the increasingly rare recognition in her eyes. Yes, dear, of course. How are you feeling? You smile warmly and nod, but before you can respond, a doctor bustles in and ushers everyone out. She asks you, for what feels like the 100th time, how you're feeling. Surprisingly well, all things considered. Mr. Odd Noble, good to see you, my friend. Excellent. There's no sign of any real damage. Just a bit of shock to the old system, pardon the pun. She smiles. Oh, this is the doctor. Not that we'd recommend you do anything like that again, of course. After a couple days rest at home, you should feel right as rain. She turns to leave, but stops at the door. Oh, and the private room and care, the doctor gestures to your room, which you now notice looks rather expensive, has all been paid for by a Mr. Bozeman. He left those flowers and said not to worry and to take the rest of the week off. He'll see you Monday, apparently. Way to go, Mr. Bozeman. Hold on here. It's strange. I'm still seeing the technical difficulties thing on the YouTube end. But that's not what we're putting out. Let me see what's up with that. Okay. It's just a glitch on my end, I believe. I do believe the actual stream is coming through. Wonder why. Oh well. If it wasn't, apologies. After all, it was all text. Day 180 of Burden to Bear. You come home from a particularly late shift to find the kitchen light still on, which isn't normally a good sign. Everyone's usually in bed by now. Softly opening the kitchen door, you find Samantha seated at the table. Bills and papers are strewn in front of her, as well as what looks to be their second pack of biscuits. Her second pack of biscuits. I'm sorry, but like the gender neutral, I get why they do it, but I have a hard time reading it that way. She gives you a quick kiss and you take a seat next to her. Samantha frowns and goes back to the bill they were holding. Hey, sweetheart, just looking at the numbers again. She looks to the door to the pantry, now converted into your mother's bedroom. We've been doing our best, but I think Cassandra really needs a nurse to look after her now. Suddenly the bills are all you can see. Fortunately, with the money that's been coming in and what we've been able to save, we've got more than enough to keep going. Samantha smiles at you. So I say, yeah, because I've made some good decisions. Made a little bit. I know things have been difficult and the daily care won't be cheap, but she's your mother. We have to, really, don't we? I gratefully smile back. Of course we'll pay for the care that Mother needs. Yeah, we're not going to send her to a transition center if that's the alternative. The new government centers for the infirmed. Okay, yeah, that ate up some of our wealth. The sword of Damocles sheathed, at least for the moment. You grab the papers and stuff them into a drawer. It's such a relief not to have to worry about it anymore. Or so you told Samantha. Hours later, you're still awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking, how long will the money last? Mr. Bozeman will take care of us. A letter home, day 201. Samantha's out with work tonight and Charlie's staying at a friend's. The house is yours. You order takeout, have a couple drinks, and decide to relax in front of the TV. Not a great selection tonight, but surely there's something to watch. Let's see. we feel like a laugh. Comedy it is. The humor is a bit hit or miss, but the joke about the kiln has you bent doubled over in laughter. Seriously, a joke about a kiln? Like, did they use the fire bricks? And that's funny stuff. Wiping a tear from your eye, you spy something reflecting the light of the TV under the coffee table. Curious, you reach down and bring it out into the light. And as you pick it up, you remember the note Samantha left for you. Hey, sweetheart. Charlie lost Susie's present. Would you mind looking for it tonight? As you hold it closer, you're surprised to find the gift's actually an engraved lighter for Chippy. She claims the nickname's affectionate, but Charlie still scowls every time she says it. I'm not sure Sam would approve. The accompanying note from Susie explains, Urkistan has a long tradition of glorifying the art of starting fires. Thought you'd like it. Don't do anything stupid, Susie. Hopefully it's just a souvenir and not a new pastime he's picked up. We're about to pick up. Anyways, it's nice that she thought of him. Alright, we're gonna bring up the volume on the regular game here. Alright. Let's check power, make sure everything's on.
I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise...
Slard Master 500,
I mean
let's see what that's about.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not
Crazy Neil, of course.
all yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to both of you.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish.
Sports board, the sports board game. Yes.
Jenny?
I'm sorry, Kath, you're going to have to leave.
Must be played. Okay.
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded
10
me.
seconds,
I thought we were
everybody.
all part of a team these days.
Things are better.
How come I can't put that in?
Stop
We'll
being
deal
so
with it.
high-mighty and do your job.
You'll have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me.
Weird.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
So how do you feel about the sanctions?
I actually think that with Advance in charge we'll be fine. Of course the rest of the world will want us to fail, or it'll be their billionaires next. But I trust Julia and
Well, I played the
Peter.
wrong one.
Julia and Peter.
Thanks, Patrick. Important stuff.
Considering I don't like
Controversial Prime
Advance.
Minister Julia
Whatever.
Salisbury attempted to assuage growing public concerns with the following official statement released earlier today.
The international sanctions declared against this country today by the World Council remind us that now, more than ever, we need to come together as a team. Since coming to power, we have eradicated poverty and, as a consequence, seen crime fall to levels previously thought impossible. Our schools, hospitals and youth clubs are thriving, and our transition centres have enabled many thousands to unburden their loved ones with dignity. In any sane world, we would be held up as a model to emulate. Evidently, this is not that world. The privileged few have lobbied, and now they are striking back. But we will not cower before their tantrums. And we encourage other progressive nations of the world to continue to trade, visit, and share their cultures with ours. Do not be afraid.
It's not very
We have more
inspiring,
friends than we can count.
but I suppose that's good.
We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you.
Reassuring stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our refreshingly different government? Robin Short found out.
I was wondering if you could tell me what you think of the government.
What? That shower of iridescent pricks, punishing success and rewarding laziness? They're taking this country down the bloody swanny. And it's not just me that thinks so.
Shit.
A Flard Day's night. Following the release of the Flard 5000, production of Flards are at an all-time high, requiring the new manufacturing facility in Grizzleford to move to 24 hours
Oh, the
a day
third one's
production.
broken.
With people finding
Derp.
more and more uses for the ever-versatile Flard, the
The
team
Flard?
that
We love
exist
it.
certainly have their hands full keeping up with demand.
We don't know what it is, but we
Is
love
there
it.
anything better than a handful of Flards? We
Hey, Rob, how you
have
doing?
To find out. Patrick?
Good to see you, man.
Do you have an opinion of Flards at all?
Oh my god, I love Flards. Doesn't everyone?
Right, who doesn't love
We didn't have
Flards?
Flards and we had to rely on words. I'd never go back.
Pipers at the gates of
This
dawn.
engineer
Tuning into the
remembers,
capital this
you know, a
morning
time where I
some
didn't know what a
surprise
Flard
breaking
was,
news by the latest stunt from popular pressure group.
which extends to now.
Silent protests were held outside underground stations throughout the capital, bringing a pleasantly surreal quality to the morning commute.
Unless, like me, you have a phobia of mimes.
But how do we, as a country...
We're spinning the news with the revolution here.
Robin?
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Oh, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel there are causes worth supporting?
Oh, Iris doesn't speak on mine, but we're pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we, love? Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the Oiks for our freedom. And what could possibly be wrong with that?
Do you need me to get you some help?
Bubbling up, intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and Dr. Ingrid Svorsborg and Hawkinsford today sent a blueprint of the escape craft in which they hope to finally leave Dante's taint.
With expert opinions of the plan running the gamut from optimistically engineered to that looks like something my granddad made in his shed, it sounds like the unfortunate team are going to need all the thoughts and prayers they can get.
So what should we think about the escape plan? Patrick Bannon again.
Yeah, don't worry, they're going to cut all this, aren't they? It's disgusting. Right.
She okay?
Oh, Jesus, web. Christ, have you thought about quitting smoking?
Right. No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
The trapped scientists.
Oh, yeah, right.
The trapped scientists. Brilliant.
I am not a member.
Is that
Applications finally
hell of an
opened today
insight.
for the new advanced team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks, and, vitally, pubs and
See, I don't know what our character personally will do about the team membership
It all
card,
seems
but
too good to be true.
let's
Well,
put a
it always
poor
is.
public spin on it.
Most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
Absolutely bloody not. That's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris? First it's, can I see your identification, sir? And then it's, would you mind bending over the table, sir? So Sergeant State Educated and Constable Regional Accent here can stick their truncheon up your berry hair.
Crikey!
They should call them what they are. They're bloody ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris?
It was an unnecessary censor. I just love. Oh,
Crikey!
And finally tonight, getting stuck in a shameless attempt to cash in on his bad boy status, shamed celebrity Johnny Hamsleeves announced a new line of real ale at a press conference earlier today.
The new brew, entitled Headbutt Ale, in reference to his controversies
Make it so
of last
nobody
year,
cares.
promises a night you'll pretend you regret.
Or possibly a night you'll pretend you remember.
So what should we all think of Johnny's latest attempt to market his notoriety? Patrick?
Don't really care, love.
Your thoughts there?
Later tonight, in a break from
See,
our
I like
usual
her when she's not being
responsibilities, Jeremy
filthy
will be
disgusting.
taking popular rapper Jesus to task over his street credibility. And then we'll both be meeting the team behind the new play that's got theatre critics buzzing with anticipation.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly News.
Thank God the fever dream's over. This is actually a little easier. That level was crazy difficult for me. Are we not running a commercial right now? I guess not.
First tonight, let's return to our main story.
With the shine coming off Advance's popularity
And the honeymoon period pretty much over,
the National Nightly News has spared no expense in bringing you the response to today's sanctions from across the continent.
joining us to help digest this
Hey,
shocking
Slacker.
development
Good to
are
see you,
Prime Minister
man.
Peter Clement from his home in Lancashire.
Good evening, Jeremy.
And from Urkistan, Foreign Minister Ivan Vodovich.
It's a great pleasure. Miss Wolf, you like...
And from Svenland, Minister of Mojo, Björn.
Hey, everybody.
Minister Vodovich, your country pushed especially hard for these sanctions. Any regrets?
My only regret is I was not able to see the face of my old friend Peter Clements when the results of the vote were announced. As you say, he has one up in your bottoms.
In Svenland, we try not to gloat, actually, because it's seen as really ugly and dangerous to some small creatures, yeah?
Oh, don't worry, Minister. Ivan and I go way back. He's a wind-up merchant who can't put for shite. He's just trying to get a rise out of me.
You're like a man who loads dissidents onto train to labor camp, not because of love of country, but to make up for size of his tiny penis.
Oh my.
No more than you. I see you on election night with mouth like man thinks he's singing beautiful lullaby. But actually he's squealing like a pig in hands of Randy Big Dick Farmer. Eh?
Actually, we Svenlandians, we aren't size obsessed. We value passion, yeah? Like the way we spoke up for Mr. Clement's country at the World Council.
That's all well and good. And high and mighty, but where were you for the actual vote, then? Our finger in each other's fjords?
Actually, that's kind of racist. And if you must know, I've had like a really tiring afternoon and my tongue is very sore.
Prime Minister, with Advance's popularity on the wane...
You don't have to bring that up at every given opportunity, you know.
Peter, he's like man who thinks he's sniffing flowers in beautiful glade. But he's actually standing under outflow pipe from shit factory at shit flushing time on day of village festival of shit. I tell him this at 19th hole.
Minister Vodovich believes that left to their own devices, people will behave selfishly.
It's nature of all beasts.
However, in this country, we think our citizens are capable of being more than beasts.
Pathetic idealism.
Minister Björk, Svenland has long had radically different traditions and culture from the rest of the world, and yet it peacefully coexists. Why do you think that is?
Well, you know, I think maybe the world sees us as something they can actually spiritually be enlightened to, yeah?
Yeah, or maybe it's
She's got a point.
Sometimes, when foreign dignitaries come to visit us, they're actually quite skeptical, actually. So we take them on a visit to the Donga district and show them what like a progressive, enlightened society looks like, yeah?
Shit of bull. Svenland is like woman who thinks she makes best cake in village hot baking contest. And then when she slices it open, it's just full of piss and cum.
That's just really gross, actually.
Svenland is a teeny tiny country. With population smaller than number of people, Peter Clements is sex with his teeny tiny penis.
It's not all about size, actually.
Yes, that's what Peter Clements always claimed.
I'm talking about population size.
And I'm talking about Peter Clements' teeny tiny...
Cameras all over the place.
Oh, Prime Minister, please.
It's so easy to sit on your pile of money and gloat, isn't it, pal? You're a shite leader. A fucking god-awful
Oh, man.
And quite frankly, as my old man used to say, you're a bit of a cunt.
Prime Minister, please.
You who is cunt.
Minister Vodovich, please.
Your people are fucking starving, pal.
We will see how well fed your people are when the sanctions start to bite. You think you're man like big, scary wolf person terrorizing village, when actually a pathetic goose person searching puddle for tiny dropped-off penis.
Why are you so obsessed about small cocks, mate?
In Svenland, we believe like the size of your penis isn't as important as the love it contains, yeah?
Oh, fuck
Man.
off, yeah.
Okay, if everybody could just calm down.
You're so smug on golf course. They're like man who fuck pig and somehow give her birth to beautiful lady girl. But now you start to see, yes? The people never happy. It's never enough.
It's certainly true that advances popularity
He's on the fucking wane, yeah!
Oh my god. It's the most constructive world leader
You know what?
conference
I'm
I've
done with
borne
this.
witness to.
Prime Minister, please don't storm out.
No, no! I have had enough of you, Mr. Jeremy Donaldson, and your snide aside. You think you could make a better job of things, do ya? Because it's not that fucking easy, let me tell ya. Your channel is a fucking disgrace. You insinuate and edit
Well,
against us and pick your headlines so people don't trust us.
that's me that does that, Mr. Prime Minister.
Public ownership, the happier everyone in this country will be.
Well,
Oh.
not long until the adverts, so...
That should have been predictable.
Sorry for the outburst, Miss Wolf. Julia thinks very highly of you, and I know you're not the one making the editorial decisions.
Do any of you have anything you wish to add about the sanctions?
My work here is done. I like man who happy he lie down with fatty, drunk, easy girl from Village Inn.
They pretty much just threatened public takeover of the news.
You know, I think it would be a terrible shame here if the people of your country were to suffer because of teenage grudges.
Yes, there's like 2 prime ministers, and Peter Clement, this guy, he is always
This
drunk.
wonderful, civilized, creative, inventive country. We're not scared of these sanctions. There's no wolves at our door, only the best of people striving to help out. So no, Ivan.
His female counterpart is,
In fact, I doubt
she acts
we
somewhat
will
motherly and scary, but
we're strong, and we're well resourced, and we don't back down to bullies.
And on that note, we have to wrap up.
Ministers, Prime Minister, thank you for joining us.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back.
Peter, you're so
oh
easy.
my.
So many buttons to push.
I need food. Size is all relative, sir. Exactly.
No, I've got meetings. Some tossers impose sanctions on the country.
Well, shit.
I mean, wow.
So that happened. Roaring monsters.
Public ownership.
You two are like a couple.
Well, it's a socialist government. We should have expected
Actually, you are just
that he
puppets on this.
had that tool in his bag. What?
Government censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring. Keep an eye out
What?
for the advanced blue waveform.
So the phone's damaged too.
Are you still meant to
And after
foreign royalty?
after this commercial, I'm gonna have to pull that. What tape are we watching? The Flard Master?
Crown Prince report.
Yeah, we'll have to eject that and put Crazy Neil in. I hate running an advance ad, a government ad, and I wonder if I can pull that. So I guess we're coming back on Megan in 15.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Coming back on Megan.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honor and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honor to be here on this show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well,
It is, Rob. It's surprisingly difficult.
The past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand. You
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me.
I figured it'd be pretty straightforward, like, but then I realized, like, my attention can only go so far, you know, so.
Childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man.
And they keep throwing stuff at you, you know.
Next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just
Poor Jeremy doing
it's just too hard.
a piece like this.
My first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah. Nah, of course, man. Very much so. I just mean, like...
Oh, wow. So the government wanted me to censor all of that.
You don't.
The government censoring shows up in blue, while foul language is going to continue to be red.
Look, yeah. I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing. And I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Hey,
Would
bub.
you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say...
Casper keeps reminding me to go to the dual shot where you see them both. And I do keep neglecting to do that.
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of
Or maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh, no. I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
He's using, like, literal audio of the Prime Minister. This is not going to go well.
We're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the elation from your participation. Still 2 leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking man?
I'm not censoring for the government. Sorry. I'll do it for the foul language. Practices and standards, you know?
So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive. But why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention. I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise of the crest of the wave. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clement's motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to stone a couple with a motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the snuff ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks who feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding out their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the brave serve the press of the ways. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's fit as shit, he's got a job.
No government censorship. Sorry.
Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, no squilling betters, and burn them on the powers of advances fucking letters. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's fit as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team. And advances, little dances aren't as harmless as it seems. Cause they're stale and corrupt, then your anger erupt. Then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
All of that they wanted censored. They wanted like most of the song censored, basically.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
Whoops.
I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your notes.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot.
Jeremy, I tried not to censor the government stuff. I might have screwed up once or twice.
Remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
That's the ad.
Okay.
Just a reminder. Fixing that old VCR.
No, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I do.
Last ad break.
A mix-up, I'm sure.
Okay, no, I can do that now.
Oh, trust me. My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Citizen gets their fair share of the abundant, nutritious food we grow right here in the territory.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I didn't mean to censor it. I did on accident twice, and I guess the game picked up on that. It'd be very difficult to just censor the foul language and not let the censor beep bleed into some of the political thought. Because it was right up against, they were right up against each other,
We could
really.
just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Megan, Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa, please.
We're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought?
It's the Finger Harris and Mr. Algebra
This
on
is
the left.
awfully exciting, isn't it?
And the girl in the middle is an advance
We're going live in 10
spokesperson.
seconds, opening on camera 1.
Opening on camera 1, got it.
5, 4, 3.
What was that?
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure.
I'm wrong, that's not the girl I thought it was.
Philippa Radin, and National Deficit, Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs are akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a very good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you...
That's a funny thing about Prime Minister Clements is like,
across this fractured nation. How would you like to really...
I think he's terrifying, but I'd totally drink a beer with him.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, After the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer.
Too white to repeat some of those words. That's
My
true
manager
too.
phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director. I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you
Did
do
ya?
that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, so give us a sense of what the show is actually about.
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that
Abandon your
I've faced.
favorite
Like,
browser.
really
That's
part
no
of
good.
How tough it is to be.
Firefox
I call
clone.
it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things
What?
that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as...
That was bad edit. Bad camera work on my part there for sure.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son.
What?
You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera.
I'm seeing a lot of range there. She seems very talented.
This show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Oh, good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
Yep. We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred path!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
I think it's fair to say...
You don't always get what you pay
We've
for.
had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Goodness, you do this every night.
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death?
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Awesome. Free government shows. Not even trying to make some of that
For
back.
coming. Next time we see you, no doubt you'll have taken our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Okay, good. For a second I was worried I played the wrong commercial, but I definitely want to play Crazy Neil because I have stock in Crazy Neil's company. Local Google overlord told me that Chrome does that also. Didn't need to worry about spyware. Yeah, I feel that. That sentiment speaks to me for sure. Chrome does do it, but it has its own spyware built in. They already have my power of attorney, so no biggie. Well, okay, so that was, once the actual show, okay, I didn't do too terrible either. Segment grade B. Once the actual show gets started, it goes by fast for me. It's the choose your own adventure part that runs kind of slow in my opinion. I think, editing, I made a few mistakes, but it was kind of meh in terms of... But hey, if they're giving... No, never mind. They give me a D. God, I did worse than I... Man, okay. So all that was... Everything I just said was false. This is the final sequence I got a B on. Everything else was abysmal. Ouch. A slight dock to pay. Still comfortable, okay. We've lost money because we decided to keep my mother in the house rather than send her to a transition center, which transitions people to death. Advance is looking worse. The revolution is looking more likely. People still love the news. In terms of rushes, let's see what we might have missed. Of course.
Ow! Oh, God, I'm sorry.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. I haven't had any food today.
Oh, you're fired.
What?
You're fired.
What for? Facial sabotage?
Jenny?
Problem?
I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to Boxman.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week. Jenny?
Wow, Megan.
I'm sorry, Kath. You're going to have to leave.
You're letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded
10
me.
seconds,
That's
everybody.
all part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Going in
high and mighty
5.
and do your
So,
job.
you know, she's definitely down with Advance. Jeremy really seems to... He just kind of wants to be unbiased, I think, you know? I don't know if there was any pre-roll to the world leaders speaking. I'm curious.
Your thoughts there?
Later tonight, in a break from our usual responsibilities, Jeremy will be taking popular rapper Jesus to task over his street credibility. And then we'll both be meeting the team behind the new play that's got theatre critics buzzing with anticipation.
That's all coming up on tonight's.
Oh, that's...
Back in a tick. Where's she going?
It's her own makeup, I'd imagine.
Well, we're needing you, Kath, otherwise you'll get mildly shiny.
I don't perspire, Martin. I have 2 settings, dry and leaking.
How delightful for you.
It adds to my allure.
No, it doesn't.
It might. You don't know.
What are we talking about?
You don't want to know.
My sweat glands, apparently.
Like I said, going in 10 seconds.
Look, about before.
Don't worry, everybody melts sometimes.
You know I would never.
5, 4, 3.
I do want to see Jeremy's interaction or lack thereof or whatever with Jesus before the performance.
Are you still meant to bow to foreign royalty?
What?
Should I just, like, curtsy?
Hang on. Have they given you the Crown Prince report?
What?
Megan?
This is Jeremy, and he'll be interviewing you.
Yo, thanks for having me on your show, man.
It's quite all right.
Yo, just a quick one. You're not going to ask me about the chimp, are you?
Live in 10 seconds.
Because he put that get up on himself. I'm just saying.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Alright, you get enough. Tommy on tour, that was makes me think the Who's Tommy, but that would be a lot more entertaining than what these people
here we go.
on tour. Tommy the Finger on
Look
tour.
at him.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Megan, Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Raiden.
What?
Philippa, please.
We're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order
So she
demon.
kind of looks like the advanced opponent, but
Right,
she's
okay
not.
then.
That's a different
We're
actress.
going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1.
Sorry.
And for a second, I thought Mr. Algebra was
5,
more than one role.
4,
I think every time I've seen him, he's been Mr. Algebra. Anyhow, that will do it for us, I believe. Let's take one more look at, that was the rushes. I don't think there's any adverts that I want to see, because if I do another playthrough, then I'll see those. You know, I know there's several different endings that you can have, depending on what you focus on. I at least, if not on stream, at least personally, I want to do one. This has kind of turned into one where I'm siding more with the Resistance and with the likes of Alan James. Anyways, anti-advanced government. But I mean, sure enough, I'd like to try one where I'm a loyalist, where I'm all in on the socialism game and pro-advance. Anyhow, all that aside, that will do for today's broadcast. I think it'll probably be a little later today, or perhaps this evening. The television edit of this will be up. So if interested, check that out. I want to thank everybody that stopped by. Slacker, Rob, appreciate you. Mr. Odd Noble, appreciate you too. I had it on top chat the whole time. Hold on. No, it's probably just the same, but just to double check. Okay, good. So, of course, thanks to all of you, my friends, and thanks to anybody that might have lurked, or anybody that might spy this in the future. As always, this is Automatic for Automatic Games. If you like this kind of thing, if you subscribe to this kind of thing, do that. I will talk to you very soon. Good day.